begin this video with a scenic mountain, and then the camera pans down layers of earth and gems and rocks until we see this hallway of torches and this child entering the throne room. I'm uncertain of the actual significance of this kid because throughout the videos and articles I've read on this song, which aren't many, it doesn't really mention him at all, but I assume that he is the son of the big dwarf king because of events we'll see at the end. The next couple of scenes, we pan towards this kid and the dwarfs walking through the caverns, and this mural right here is actually written in the language that J.R.R. Tolkien made up for his book series, The Lord of the Rings, but I've heard that is actually only gibberish, like they didn't actually make real words. But if you look on the original video that Diggy Diggy Hole, there's a comment, the top comment I believe, that has the translation of the song in Dwarvish, which is really interesting, so you should check that out. The murals are also telling the story of the dwarves. And then right now we got the catchy tune starting to get going and the people are marching to their destination. Now we are introduced to individual characters such as this big king dwarf, and we see more shots of these people walking. Throughout the next part of the song we kind of have them going to work and various transition shots, which I think are very beautiful. And they're kind of the more macho versions of the dwarves from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Alright, then the next part we have them doing their work, we see shots, we see gold. They kind of then discuss their origins, about how they live in this mountain with these metals as their personality traits, and there's more shots of them doing work and finding diamonds, and then we are introduced to the chorus. The main line in the chorus, Diggy Diggy Hole, was actually created in a video spontaneously, aside from the original song, was actually the inspiration. It was when Yogg's Cat was creating a video called The Shadow of Israfel, and they used to be more Minecraft commentary, although their channel had shifted over to songs. But it was in a video where they were just doing a gameplay, and then Simon, I believe, said, "Look, I'm a dwarf, I'm digging a hole, diggy diggy hole," and that's how the idea for the song became real. We're back to the little dwarf, and he's looking at the mural, and what's funny is we kind of can see his reactions to the events happening over the course of the video. Now we have reached the second verse, where they are discussing how dwarves are just underground and they won't reach the blue moon or see the sun. Very cheerful, I know. So the next part of the mural is they are drinking and eating and then stumbling home and collapsing because they're drunk, which the little dwarf kid finds funny for some reason. Now they're discussing their origins, how they were born inside the earth, and that they will they were born there and that they'll die there. And then the dwarf sees foreshadowing there's these goblins inside, but the dwarves are like, "Oh yes, we will never fear beneath, we will never dig too deep." Chorus time, the best part. I would like to discuss kind of the origins of the song. It's not really a Minecraft song, but it's also not really with any other genre. It's more Lord of the Rings than it is anything, and I'm pretty sure this is the most successful of the Yogg's Cast songs, which is pretty cool. Now we see goblins, and the dwarves are marching unsuspectingly past these goblins hiding in the shadows. I also saw this thing on a WikiHow or Reddit page where someone was questioning whether it was moral for the goblins to be attacked because they were saying, "Oh, they were there in the first place, correct? What do you think?" And then someone was like, "Well, the murals show the dwarves and the rich dwarven history," but I have to say something too. I realized that towards the end of the song, the mural is kind of cut off, which means that the history is still happening. So it could be that the dwarves were like up at the top, kept on digging their way down, as they were saying earlier, and then they just kept on going and, hurting the goblins. Ultimately, however, you shouldn't really put too much thought into this. This is just a lighthearted song, and there's not really any questions about the goblins, really. At this point, the dwarves and the goblins are making mean faces at each other and start attacking each other. Very cheerful stuff. Then in the next part, we're going to go back to the kid and how he's standing in front of the mural that's half there and half not. So he doesn't know what's going to happen next, and this is making him a little bit nervous because I'm pretty sure the big Viking was his father. Then we see the helmet being tossed down into the abyss. It looks like it's going the sky, kind of, but it's not. And he's like, "Oh no, my father." But then he hears the singing of the dwarves, and he's like, "Oh, they're coming back." So then, yes, they are coming back in this big horde, and he hides behind the throne of his, I think, father or uncle or someone. Then we see pictures of victorious dwarves, And this rhythm, I love it so much. Oh my gosh, lots of emotion here. And then he's like, I'm home, without his helmet, because obviously his helmet fell. And these dwarves are here carrying all their riches with some sort of paint on their faces. And look, there's Merlin. So then we have all these dwarves assembled here, and the king is going to his throne, sits down, chunky lad. And then there's a ton of dwarves. And actually, when I first looked at that, I wasn't sure if that gray space was nothing or dwarves, but I've decided since that it was dwarves. And now this kid, whoever it is sitting on his dad's lap. And then we pan out, which is a beautiful ending for this song. And I do really like this song. It doesn't really seem as though it was made in 2011. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching this video. It means a lot. If you could let other people know about it, that would be amazing. And subscribe. Yeah, thanks.